Hello, my love. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to share this manifestation that came to life at quantum speed with you inside of this episode. Welcome back to the Kailah King Show. So normally I am a psycho when it comes to planning all of my trips. There's a past version of me about 10 years ago that would be like, I need to know exactly the hotels we're staying at. I'm going to research the entire state to find the best hotel. And I need to know, it just needs to be completely organized. Remember the last podcast episode, how I said about, being in control and needing to know the outcome and needing to know it all now? That right there is what stops the illogical happening in your life. That right there is what stops the manifestation coming to life. That is control. And I say that with love because I am a reformed, actually still moving through those pieces myself. Now, control is what we need when we want to create safety. Control is what we tap into when we need to know what's going to happen and how we can it makes us feel safer. Okay, when we have control. When we release control, when we surrender and let go, we actually need to tap into inner safety for us to be able to fully let go and surrender and trust in the divine. And a little FYI is if you have trust problems, as in you struggle to trust other people outside of you, that is a mirror reflection of not being able to fully tap into the trust within yourself and the trust within the creator or the divine or God or source or the universe. Because there's a part of you, unconsciously or consciously, that is holding on to safety and control because you don't actually believe that it all gets to work out for you, and you don't actually believe that they're going to come in, like the creator or the divine is going to come in and hold you. And so, or to give you, or to you don't fully trust and believe that it's all going to work out for you. And so that right there is so powerful. They are the codes to wildfire manifestation in your life, illogical results in your business. Because the past version of me that needed control, and she existed for most of my life, was the part of me that didn't have that inner safety, that didn't have that inner belief and absolute undeniable trust that it's all going to work out for me. And that version of me didn't fully believe that it's almost like I needed to control it, because if I controlled it and I planned it and I organized it, then I know it's going to work out as good as what I logically can comprehend and absolutely believe. I didn't allow myself to fully surrender and fully allow and fully trust and fully let go of control and allow myself to fully believe that the creator or God or the universe or the divine or source was going to bring it to me. I didn't allow myself to fully open up and receive what was meant for me. And so I created logical, predictable results in my life because my logical mind was creating through control. But the moment that I let go of and surrendered, the moment that I allowed myself to open up into trust and belief and receive more than my logical mind could even comprehend, is the moment that I manifested illogical results. That is the wildfire manifestation and success that defies all logic, and that's where I like to play. That's in the quantum. That's where I'm tapping into infinite potential in the 5D and beyond, that I'm anchoring that potential into my physical 3D reality. That is wildfire manifestation, but that requires for you to let go of control and to create inner safety, 444, inner safety, so that way you do not wobble between the moment of the desire in the 5D, in the quantum field, the manifestation that has not yet been realized and received in the 3D material physical world. That's the quantum leap. And you need to have deep inner safety, absolute trust and knowing. You need to hold a high level of power, boundaries, standards, and absolute conviction that it is coming. Your trust needs to be unshakable. Your belief needs to be unwavering. You cannot allow an external person, circumstance, or situation to pull you out of alignment. You need to hold your alignment. Hold that frequency. Hold that belief and trust and absolute knowing that it is coming. And then when you surrender and you always hold your field open to all the limitless potential and possibilities that are available to you and were always meant for you, that's when your quantum leap manifestation happens at an insanely fast pace. Because time is an illusion. The only thing that is the thing that's stopping you from receiving everything that you desire is your frequency. It's your belief, it's your trust. Because when you hold a high frequency and you believe and trust and absolutely know within all of your being, no matter what anyone else says, you hold your power, your standards, your boundaries, your frequency does not drop or lower for no one and nothing outside of you. That in that moment, you're unstoppable. You're a force to be reckoned with. You're in absolute co-creation with the divine. You are only available for limitless potential, your highest potential. You are only in alignment with your highest version of you. You do not allow yourself to fall into patterns or stories or wounds or triggers or traumas. And if you do, you know how to come back to alignment. You don't have to have it all perfectly sorted and figured out, do you? I don't. But I do have the conscious awareness of when I'm in alignment and when I'm not. I do have the conscious awareness to consciously choose to align with my highest version of me, the highest version of me that is open and complete surrender and complete trust and inner safety, that she is the living embodiment of her highest timeline. Her field is open. If she's in control, where does she need to create inner safety? What needs to shift? What needs to be released and surrendered for her to believe and trust and know that she is completely divinely protected and she is safe? That she is safe to open up her field and receive everything that is meant for her. That right there is how I manifested the most illogical thing that happened in Egypt and in Bali. So just for the record, I did not work whilst I was in Egypt. Okay. I intentionally created a divine space, like a month, for me to be fully not even thinking about work. No, not in my Elegant Edge business, not in my Kailah Lee brand. No. Through Egypt, I made $13,000 just in Kailah Lee without even working. I didn't sell a single thing. I didn't have one single conversation. I didn't work one single hour for an entire month, and I made $13,000 of sales that are not linked to my time, not linked to me doing anything. I do nothing, and I made $13,000. That's not even including my Elegant Edge brand. That is just Kailah Lee. I did nothing. Existed, I held the frequency of potential, and I was available and open to receiving all the magic that is available for me. And that is wild, because that is still a limited version of what I know in my absolute truth that is available for me. And it gets better. So remember at the beginning of this episode where I shared about how a past version of me needed control. But this version of me is completely in surrender. Like, I want to know how good it's going to get. And I want to see the divine creator fucking blow my mind away. I want to have a story to tell, because that is exciting for me. I'm like, how good can it actually get? Like, can you show me proof? Hold up. I don't need to see proof. I want you to literally sweep me off my feet. I want the divine creator to romanticize me. I want the creator to literally blow my mind. Like, blow my mind. I'm available for it. I'm ready. Let's go. And so the message that I had is to fly to Egypt, book only my flight from Egypt to Bali, to not book a flight back to Gold Coast or to Perth or anywhere, to not book any accommodation. And so it's interesting because a past version of me would have been freaking out. There is no way that I could fly to another country and not know where I'm staying. Like, I don't want to be worried about where I'm staying. And also, oh my God, this is even more potent and precious, because just in January, It literally happened to me that I flew to Bali for 3 weeks with the boys. So I have my 3 little boys with me and we're living our best life. And I land in Bali and we had 3 Airbnbs cancel and double book on us. And we did not have somewhere to stay. Like, I was homeless in Bali with 3 little boys. And my Uber driver guy was not happy because I was not letting him go until I found accommodation. And because of with the fact that it was New Year's Eve, there was nowhere to stay. Everywhere was booked out. Clearly, they were double booking. And so I was like, I cannot trust an Airbnb. We're going to have to go to a hotel. But trying to find a hotel that was not $17,000 for 3 nights on New Year's Eve was actually impossible. It took me 2 hours. I have experienced landing in Bali. This is actually insane. Right now, you're seeing me have a live breakthrough. I have experienced landing in Bali and being homeless and not having anywhere to go and being in a state of absolute panic, looking at my boys who were losing their shit because it's been at least 7 hours of travel and they woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So this is not a good time for anyone. Thankfully, I know how to ground my energy. I know how to regulate my nervous system, and I know how to come back into alignment and take aligned action from fucking power. I am a force to be reckoned with, especially when I'm in a state of crisis. Like, when there is a crisis, I'm the person you want to go to. And so I'm able to not get swept up in the panic or the stories. I'm able to anchor into my power, my womb space, and I'm able to take aligned action from absolute clarity. I don't get swept up. I don't become the emotional, the panic. I notice that there is an emotional panic. I notice that my kids are freaking out. I notice that I want to freak out and cry. But in those moments, I know how to come back to center, alignment, and ground. I know how to create, like to fully drop into my body, into my power, and then to take aligned action, not from the freaking out, but from the absolute alignment and truth, right? So I have actually experienced recently in this year a very traumatic experience of not knowing where me and my boys are going to sleep after having 3 Airbnbs cancel and double book us. And I had to pay $4,500 for 3 nights accommodation. I had to bring that, I had to literally create that money from nowhere, right? I'd already paid $3,500 for the other 3 Airbnbs, FYI, which didn't fall through, and we're going to take at least, I think it was like 5 to 7 days to 14 days for the money to actually land in my account. So I'm low-key freaking out. Do you want to know what else? At that moment, it's triggering every single wound of lack of safety within my root chakra. I am freaking out. I've just gone to Bali, 3 little boys, sleep deprived, fucking tired. I've had to come up with, in like a 24-hour period, I've had to come up with like $10,000 on the spot. Like, I'm freaking out. Can confirm, freaking out. But because I can come back into center, alignment, and ground, and I can trust that I'm divinely protected, and I believe that it's all working out for me better than I can ever imagine, I find an incredible hotel, which actually, if I was really honest with myself, was the actual hotel that I wanted to stay at. I wanted to be on Canggu, overlooking the beach. When the boys are asleep, I wanted to watch the fireworks. I wanted to be journaling and having a cacao and having this beautiful moment to myself, right? I got what I wanted. In the most wild, insane way, through so many lessons and a little bit of panic, I actually got what I wanted. The creator actually delivered me the experience that I desired. Even though my logical mind tried to book an Airbnb and make it like what I should do, fuck that. That did not happen. So I have experienced the reality of landing in Bali and not having accommodation. And so it's interesting that the creator, the message that I received was so strong to not book accommodation. This is where your undeniable, unwavering, unfuckwithable trust and belief in yourself, which is also God, the creator, having that faith in something higher power, your trust and belief needs to be unwavering. Because in that moment, this message is coming through and I'm like, this makes no sense. Like, this is not, like, why would I not book accommodation? Like, remember what happened? Interesting, right? My logical mind, remember what happened last time with the accommodation? You need to get that sorted. Like, you need to get that sorted. You cannot fly to Bali and not have accommodation, because look at what happened last time. Interesting, isn't it? How your mind tries to keep you safe. But because I trust in the messages that I receive more than my mind ever, I go to Egypt and I do not book accommodation. I'm like 2 days out from flying to Bali and I still haven't booked my accommodation. But do you want to know what's wild? Is on day 1 of the Egypt retreat, I met this beautiful soul, Kimberly. And I knew instantly when I seen her name in the Telegram chat group that I was going to have an instant connection with her. Just soul, resonance, frequency, match, magic. Of course, I knew it. And of course we did, because it was truth. And I always know that. I always know when I'm going to have a soul connection with someone. And so I arrive and we're connecting and we're deep diving, because, you know, in my world, we go deep in 0.3 seconds as a standard. And we're connecting on all the things. And she works for the Como Shambhala in Bali, in Ubud. And I was like, oh my God, I've got this vision. I want to hold retreats over in Bali. Like, I know it's happening. I know it's happening. I just need to find the right space, because I want a luxury high-end experience. I want to blow the mind of my clients. I want to create this divine curate. I mean, I have owned a luxury bridal brand for 15 years. Curating luxury experiences for my clients is my absolute baseline in business. Like, I love tapping into my clients' field of what they absolutely deeply desire. Like, what are their greatest desires? And then I create it in a client experience and I over deliver on their expectations. I blow their mind. I am God, like, in the way that I create a client experience. And so I wanted to bring that same elements of what I've created in my bridal brand, but into my coaching and my healing. So I wanted to create, like, I know that I'm going to be creating, I mean, it's already happened now, but I know I'm going to be creating these beautiful divine retreat experiences for the divine feminine to fully drop into their womb space, to heal what is not truth, the distortion, the illusion, to open up and to fully experience the divine feminine essence, the embodiment and the leadership of their fucking power, their magnetism and their pleasure. Like, absolutely, that's what I know. So I'm sharing this vision with Kimberly. And I'm like, but you know, I don't want to do it like, I mean, I don't ever do anything like anyone else. I love being different and unique. And I think we all should be doing that, by the way. But I love curating these divine experiences for my clients, like high-end luxury experiences where everything they could have ever, okay, here we go. I'm the Mercedes, right? I love thinking about what my client would need before she even realizes that she needs it. And then I create it and then it blows her mind. That's me. I wanted to create experiences like that for my clients in retreats, right? So I'm sharing this with Kimberly and I'm like, pull it up, let's go. But I'm also not available for anything less than my vision, because boundaries and standards, and thank you, Sekhmet, for activating that, right? So then she shares that she works for the Como Shambhala. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Did you know that I have a bridal brand? And I was sharing about Elegant Edge and just FYI, in Elegant Edge, I also already have contacts with the Como Treasury in Perth, because I was going to hire or lease one of their buildings because it's a really high-end luxury, like, wedding clientele, right? So that's my brand in Perth. And I was like, oh my gosh, how amazing would it be to curate an entire bridal experience for everything that the bride needs, a high-end luxury bridal experience for the entire wedding planning, like everything. Genius, absolutely extraordinary. But I didn't end up doing it for many other reasons. Maybe I'll talk about that another time, but I didn't end up doing it, which actually worked out to be aligned, because little did I know that I was moving to the Gold Coast and relocating. So that would have actually held me in Perth for a period of time until it was ready to go without me and work without me, which thankfully is what my bridal brand does, because I do not work in that brand. And so I already have this connection with Como. I already have a frequency resonance with Como. The brand Como just resonates with my field. It's like magic. I know that I'm going to be working and collaborating with the Como. I already have these relationships with the Como Perth, and now I've met this beautiful soul that the universe has brought us together, and she already works with the Como in Ubud. And I'm like, oh, tell me more. Like, and she starts selling the Como Shambhala estate. And I'm like, you had me at hello, let's go. And she's like, are you actually serious about this? And I'm like, I have wanted to find a space, but I'm not available for, like, I want it to be high end. I want to curate the most divine experience that blows the mind and souls of my clients. And she's like, well, if you're serious about, like, if this is something that you would actually entertain and you want to do this, I could see if I could get you a complimentary stay and you can meet with the marketing and sales director of this whole Southeast Asia, like, department for Como. And I was like I'm excited and I want to do this, but now I'm freaking out because I can't believe that this is actually happening. I can't believe that the creator, the universe, the God, like, has brought this experience to me. And now I'm freaking out because I wasn't expecting it. And so I just sit with that and I'm like, fuck, do I actually want to do this? Like, it was a vision in the quantum and I could feel it and it was true. But then there's also the real fear of, like, now I have to take action. Like, now I actually have to create this. Now I have to make it happen. And I'm freaking out. And then so divinely, this beautiful experience is brought to me. And I'm like, well, you know what? Because I'm in trust and surrender and absolute belief that it's all working out for me better than my logical mind can ever comprehend. I'm like, okay, let's go. Creator, show me the truth. Show me the truth of this connection. Show me the truth of this, like, opportunity and invitation. So if it's all meant to work, if it's all meant to be, and I'm meant to be holding these divine high-end luxury retreats at the Como Shambhala, then I will receive a complimentary stay. It's going to all happen. It's all going to flow. And so I allow myself to receive. I open up. I sit with any fears and doubts or any moment that I have any contraction coming up. Kimberly messages the sales director and he then reaches out and he wants to get on a call, right? This is a really important point of the story. He wants to get on a call. I'm freaking out. I'm like, this is not just like a really lighthearted conversation. This is serious. And I'm in Egypt and I was not expecting to be having these conversations and it's just really pulling me out, you know? I'm like, not at all expecting this. So I'm having to be open, stay in surrender, and also in the same breath, hold what's coming up for me. And so I'm not going to lie, there was contraction. I was freaking out. This felt really serious. I was like, fuck, if I commit to this, what does it mean? And then all of the stories were coming up. Will people buy it? Will people actually invest in themselves? Will people actually invest in a high-end luxury retreat? When will I actually be able to even get to Bali and offer this retreat? Oh my God, what dates? How is it going to work out with the boys? When am I going to be able to, like, feels like I'm already flying between Gold Coast and Perth 50% of the year. And so I'm like, more travel. And then it's just interesting. All of the stories, the fears and the doubts that were all surfacing in that moment. And I'm not going to lie, every time a fear came up, every time a story came up, anytime a doubt came up, my body went into contraction, which is the opposite of expansion. It was the opposite of being open and available for receiving everything that I desire, my highest potential. And so I'm conscious of that, right? I'm having to be present in every moment that I'm feeling that contraction. And then I'm having to consciously shift what's within me, that fear and that doubt and that insecurity, or the absolute fear that it's all not going to work out, and the part of me that's wanting to control and hold on to safety and to the comfort. I'm having to be really present with all of that, because in all of those moments is the contraction. And if I'm not conscious of all those moments at the contraction, then I'm then not open in my expansion and available for the manifestation to become a reality. I'm no longer resonating at the frequency that I need to be in to receive the thing that I desire, because my soul knows what's truth. It wouldn't be happening if it wasn't. The invitation wouldn't be there. The opportunity wouldn't have shown itself. But I had to be consciously aware of every moment that my frequency dipped, when the doubts came in, when the insecurity came in, when the fears came in, when I was sitting there in, like, telling myself all the stories of how it's not going to work out. I had to be very present with all of it. And then I had to shift it, alchemize it, and then rise back into the frequency of receiving the absolute magic that was available for me. Because all of that was just fear. All of that was trauma, triggers, wounds, insecurities, doubts. All of that was a lower frequency and vibration, which is an energetic match for not receiving it. So to then become the energetic match for receiving it, I needed to consciously shift what was in the way, alchemize and rise to my highest version of me, right? So in all these moments, I'm noticing the contraction, the expansion, the contraction, the expansion, the doubt, the fear, the love, the excitement, the doubt, the fear, the love, the excitement. And I'm moving through all of it whilst in Egypt, through all these experiences. and I'm holding their potential. Now, do you know what happened? I couldn't call Eugene. I couldn't actually call. The WhatsApp was not working. For some reason, the connection whilst we were on the boat sailing up the Nile, the energy was so potent. I mean, I'm not the first, like it's not the first. I affect energy, like technology, like my energetic field interrupts technology. So it's not unusual for me. But in the same breath, isn't it interesting that this one little like roadblock is then triggering more of my fears and doubts and the insecurity that like, what if it doesn't actually happen? What if this is all too good to be true? And the disbelief starts to settle in. And I'm like, oh, this is like that time when it felt like the universe was like, gotcha. You didn't really get what you wanted. Remember how that happens? And then I'm like, I do remember how that happens. I remember the disappointment that came up. I remember the sadness and the grief. I remember all of it. And then my body's like, remember how it's much more comfortable staying safe? Can you see how all the stories were looping around? My body was then like, let's stay safe, let's stay comfortable, let's not get our hopes and expectations up too high, because what if we get disappointed? Remember that time that it's all too good to be true? Remember that time that it didn't actually work out? Remember that time that you daydream and desired of all the magic and it never actually happened? Remember all those times? No, because the illogical does not happen in the logic. And so I had to be present with all of those stories, and I had to fully drop into my power and truth, and I had to fully come back to alignment, center, and ground into my absolute knowing that is trust, surrender, belief. That if it's all meant to be, it is always working out for me, and that it's always going to work out better than I ever imagined the moment that I let go and surrender. And so instead of holding on to control and needing to know the outcome and needing it to be a certain way, I had to choose in every moment of disbelief and every moment of fear and doubt and insecurity that it is always working out for me. I am not attached to the outcome. I do not need it to be a certain way. If this falls through, it's not attached to my value or my worth. I'm still extraordinary. If anything, it's actually now activated the whole retreat. It is happening in 2026. So wow, I just have multiple times coming through. That's interesting. And so I had to be so present with all of that. I had to hold my power in all of that. I could not waver. And every moment that I dipped in my frequency, I had to rise into my highest version of me, in my highest timeline and my highest potential. I had to hold the potential that it's all working out for me. And if it doesn't, then something better is coming through. I had to trust that. I didn't want to trust it because I wanted to slip into control, because control feels safe, but I had to choose in every moment. I had to trust in the unknown. I've created that deep inner safety, that deep absolute knowing in my value and my worth, that it doesn't matter what happens externally. So then, as I'm consciously shifting through all these moments, magic happens. Eugene messages and he's like, I've organized a complimentary stay. And then he's like, can you change the date to another one? I was like, oh, great. Now it's starting. This is what always happens. This is what I'm always expecting, to get let down and disappointed and hurt and heartbroken. That it's all too good to be true. It's all not going to work out for me. Interesting, because the universe and the creator keeps delivering all these roller coasters of the moment instead of me fully, absolutely opening up and surrendering into the absolute highest timeline and potential. I'm still getting shown all these little moments where I'm expecting unconsciously for it to not work out. Wild. Absolutely wild. And so I finally surrendered. It's like I was holding on. And I finally surrendered. And I was like, you know what? Not only did I surrender, I actually got so certain on what I was available for, what I wasn't available for, and my worth. And I realized that the kind of relationship that I want to be available for with somewhere that I'm holding a high-end luxury retreat is that I am bringing them clients. It's a high-end retreat. It's a luxury experience. They are going to want to look after me because I am bringing them clients again and again and again. I am of value to that brand. And I had to anchor into that. Like I had to anchor into that. And so once I anchored into the absolute power and the value of my worth and the value that I'm bringing to that brand, instead of going like, if that's okay with you, no, Eugene, I actually want at least 2 nights accommodation, and I also want to experience a massage, And I also would like a site. I want to see all of the estate. I want to see what you have available for me and how you can help me create the most divine experience for my clients. That's what I'm available for. Whoa. 3:33 on the clock right now. Everything shifted. Everything shifted. My God, did everything shift. He comes back and we've got 2 nights accommodation for you. We've booked you in for a massage. You've got a personal assistant. She's going to help you with everything. We've organized a meeting with the marketing and sales at the events. They're going to take you around everywhere. Hold up. So not only did I have to surrender and fully open up to the highest potential, but I also had to get really fucking clear with what I'm available for and what I'm not available for. I had to activate my inner segment. I had to fully drop into my power and know my worth and the value that I bring with absolute certainty, confidence, and conviction. I had to become unwavering with the value that I was bringing to this brand. Not the other way around, like, oh my gosh, I should be so lucky if I get this. I had to own the value that I brought. I can feel this. This is going to land so deeply with so many of you. And I feel like this is an actual transmission because I can literally feel this shifting in my heart space. I had to own the value that I brought and that I was going to bring, because when I fully tapped into what I was available for and what I am here to create, especially between now and 2027, wow. At first, it was just 1 retreat every year, but it's actually, I'm getting shown 3 retreats every year, because this is the work that is absolutely necessary for the pre-game that is 2026, for the absolute illogical results that are coming in 2027. And the sooner you dive into it, the sooner that all happens, FYI. Which then brings me to the next point. I then arrive in Bali and I'm experiencing this whole thing. Do you know what's wild? I have the space, the entire space, to fully drop in, and I start channeling the entire retreat. Every single experience has been curated for my clients' entire 5-day retreat in Bali. Like, I mean, everything. The entire thing was absolutely divinely co-created for every single client that is going to be magnetized to joining me inside of, oh my God, I just can't believe it. It's like in this luxury high-end retreat in Bali. What came through was creating this experience to not only meet the depths of you in the most divine way, in the most luxurious way, in the most romantic way, but to create this divine experience for you to feel so loved, so nurtured, so held, I'm going to cry, so supported, so deeply connected with your authentic divine feminine essence and truth, deeply connected to your womb and your power, your orgasmic creative life force energy that literally births worlds, creation, and life. Your heart finally feeling so safe to be fully open to receive all that you're here to receive, and your throat finally feeling so safe to be fully open to express your truth, your magic, your essence, your divinity, your love, all of you. And to create all of these divine experiences for you to fully drop in, to fully surrender into your receiving. It's not a retreat. It's an experience, it's an activation, it's a remembrance of dropping you out of your logical mind, out of the hustle and the masculine, out of the stories, the distortion, the illusion, and into your heart, into your womb space, into your power, your magic, and your magnetism. So you can remember what it feels like to receive, to surrender, to hold your wild feminine, your dark feminine, your light feminine, your magic, all of you, so that you can alchemize and rise as the divine feminine, which is exactly what the new earth needs, because through the divine feminine rising activates the divine masculine to rise. This is healing the little boy to activate his king. This retreat and experience is healing the little girl to activate your queen. And through that activation of the divine masculine and feminine is where the divine union comes in 2027. This is when everything comes back into balance without the distortion of the masculine and the feminine. And it all comes back into balance with the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Where the divine masculine is so activated, his greatest desire is to give, to provide, to protect, presence. Having the capacity to fully hold you, of you. But through you rising activates the king to rise. And when you rise and you get clear on what you are available for and what you're not available for, not only do you rise into your queen, into a higher frequency, into the embodiment of your truth, but you then invite and activate the divine masculine to rise into his truth. And it restores balance and truth, and all distortion is gone. It's happening right now. That's why there's so many more triggers, so many more traumas all coming to the surface. That's why there's unexplainable outbursts of all of your energy that you can't even, it's like, why am I acting like this? Why is this coming up for me right now? What the fuck is like, where did this come from? That is, it's all alive within you, and it's all been within you this entire time. And it's all ready to be brought to the surface, to be surrendered, to be released, to be healed, to be alchemized, so that you can rise into your queen, into your light, into your divine feminine essence. This is magic, like absolute magic. And isn't it wild, the whole journey that this was created through, like the whole experience of what I had to move through in that co-creation with the divine, with the creator, with God, with source of the universe, to actually bring this to life. I didn't have to do any of it on my own. I was literally guided and protected the entire time. I had to move through all of my shadows and limitations and fears and doubts the entire time. I had to be conscious of all of it. I couldn't just hope for the best. Like, this is consciousness. I had to be conscious of every choice point, every decision, every moment. Am I in alignment with what I desire, with my highest version of me? Or am I allowing my fears and doubts and insecurities to become me? This is the deep work. And if you're ready for the deep work, I want to invite you to join us inside of Sacred Alchemy. Sacred Alchemy is one powerful experience where you will have the invitation to be present with your shadows, with everything that is not truth, the distortions, the illusions, the programs, the stories, everything that has been holding you back, keeping you small, keeping you limited, and keeping you out of power. Where you've been giving your power away, where you've been shining a little less bright, where you've been holding yourself back. Sacred Alchemy is your invitation to fully rise into your queen, to fully rise into the highest version of you, for you to fully alchemize everything that is shadow and not truth into light, so that you can manifest at quantum speed, like wild speed. So you can fully drop into your feminine and surrender and open and let go of the need to control, because you are so open, you're so ready, and you trust and you believe in yourself and the creator of what is available for you. You are dropping out of your logical mind and into your body, and you're allowing yourself, you're opening yourself up to illogical experiences as your baseline. You're holding your power. You're not giving your power away. You're only available for your highest potential. You don't lose, or you don't drop in your frequency, your standards, or your boundaries. You do not give your power away to anyone. You hold it, and you become the most powerful, magnetic, wildfire energy in the room. You are unstoppable, a force to be reckoned with. Unfuckwithable. It is wild what will happen in your life from this moment. I cannot wait to welcome you into Sacred Alchemy, my love. I'm sending you all of the love, and I hope you have loved this episode.